is not something that I wanted to do. I was like, I'm trying to make some money. I came to Ghana really for spiritual purposes. So I wanted to learn more about meditation, about manifestation, about what we call African science. I had 1 Accra nights, about 36 to 42 hours, like no sleep, right? One of those nights, right? That we were just talking about. And after that, it was like, yo, the stronger Africa is, the more respect black people around the world will get. If everybody see what you see, then you ain't seeing nothing. Seeing so many people join the diaspora movement is helping people understand, listen, it's okay if it's not for you.
Yeah.
What you need to do is recognize that and move out the way.
When I met Jamie Foxx in LA, and one of the things, these stories was like, look, I went to South Africa, and like he was like, he felt that he was like underdressed. All of these guys coming like properly dressed. He was like, what? Is that how you guys dress it? Like,
listen, I'm telling people, you think you balling at home, come to Ghana in December. You don't even gotta come to Ghana in December. My assistant here was telling me, he's like, it's probably about time you go home for some time. You've been here. I said, how long have I been? He said, you've been about 4 years. I said, 4 years. Like,
oh wow.
I just haven't been tracking time.
Hello guys, my name is Cassandra and I'm here to invite each and every one of you guys to the Diaspora Transition Network. It's a network for everyone in the diaspora to join. Any issues you have with GRA, Ghana's Registrar's Office, Lands Commission, they are here to help, support, and also guide you through it all. So click the link and sign up and join today.
2019 was when I first met him during the year of return. You know, at the time I'm a board member on the Ghana Tourism Authority. That's when I found out that you are the engine behind the year of return. And you're so invested in Ghana that normal Ghanaians, like Ghanaians from the diaspora who have moved, I don't see them being so invested like you. Cocoa farming, like which Ghanaians do cocoa farming that's from the diaspora? I don't know none. If you're out there, please, I want to know you. You're building your 12-room guest house. You're in and out, you're bringing so many diasporans to Ghana. Where did that passion come from? I know the 400 years were coming up, but why Ghana? Why didn't you take it to another country? I'm going to be firing a lot of questions to you. So
It's okay. I'm ready.
So let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
How did it all start?
Well, so I like to say that it's really hard to take credit for something that God gave you, right? And there are some things that are just that are cosmic. Because in the cosmos, it's like our backdrop. It's like when the stars are aligned, I realize that it's my job to be a clean, open, and acceptable vehicle through which God can work miracles. So it's hard to take credit to say, well, I did this. I was prepared. I put myself in a position. The stars aligned. I met the right people. Everybody aligned, was in agreement, and we all pushed together. So it was one of those things for me where it's not something that I wanted to do. I was like, I'm trying to make some money. I'm out here trying to make some bread, right? But then the idea came. And then and I always say my ancestors wouldn't let me rest. Because even when I tried to do other things, I just had a blockage. Like I really couldn't open up until we pushed and it happened. I met Chief Okwesi Ajamin in the US in 2017. And at the time, I'm being from DC, a lover of go-go music, I was like, yo, I always wanted to bring a go-go band here. I'm like, it's so African. The similarities are so crazy. So when I met him and I talked about bringing the go-go band, he was I think he had just got the post. And he was like, well, how many people do you have signed up? And I was like, 100. And that got his attention. He's like, 100? Like, who you work with? I'm like, it's just me. He's like, really? So we talked. And then I was like, well, I'll be in Ghana. So,
But had you been to Ghana before?
So I had only been to Ghana. Okay, good question. I had only been to Ghana twice.
Okay.
I came to Ghana 2014.
Okay.
Once. And
For what?
So when I came to Ghana in 2014, I went straight to Yamembechede, the same place which is my village near Koforidua. And
What is in Koforidua?
Hey,
The flowers in Koforidua that you love Koforidua so much.
As I always say, we have the best contumely and fresh air that there is. I came to Ghana really for spiritual purposes. So I wanted to learn more about meditation, about manifestation, about what we call African science, about using herbs, traditional herbs. That's what I came for.
Wow.
So, and I was at the place at my life in the US where I felt like I can't level up and I can't do the next thing that I need to do until I get some spiritual discipline. So that was a part of my own personal journey. So when I got there to Yamembechede and Koforidua and I was here for about 6 weeks, I was like, this is dope. And I just fell in love there.
Okay.
So then I left. Came back again in 2016, 2 years later. Now, prior to that, I'd already been to the continent of Africa. Senegal was my first love.
Okay.
So I spent a lot of time in Senegal, been to Guinea, Conakry, mostly Francophone countries. So when I came back in 2016, I had one Accra night, about 36 to 42 hours, like no sleep, right? One of those nights, right? That we were just talking about. And after that, it was like, yo, there's something here. Right, so then went back to Yamembechede, and then I was told that if you plant roots in Ghana, things will go well for you.
Wow.
If you be serious and decide to commit to this, and I have been, most of us been through a number of things in our life, and being a spiritual person, I had already decided that I'm never going to find out what happens if I don't listen. So when you listen to that God voice, and when you listen to those whispers, that's your ancestors, it's the voices of God and angels that's driving you. Some of us hear that voice and we get confused. We haven't been able to shut out the noise enough to know that it's our guidance. So when I decided that I'm always going to listen, I just moved. Wow. So when I heard that, I was like, okay, boom, let me come back. So I came back that year in November by myself. And I was like, now, I'm from the street. I'm not from the street, but I'm from the hood. I'm,
You're okay by yourself. You can move.
Let me come by myself. Let me catch the trotro. Let me catch the trotro from Accra. Like I told the people in Yamembechede that nobody come pick me up from the airport. Oh, Nana, how will you get there? Don't worry. I'm going to find my way. So then when I got off the trotro with my bags, they like, hey, this guy, you came by yourself. I was like, I'm good. Trust me, I'm good. Caught the trotro to Kumasi.
Wait, you caught the trotro from the airport?
From the airport to Yamembechede.
By yourself?
Yes.
Wow, okay.
Because I had came once in 2014, and I had came once again early 2016. So by then, I knew, and I'm asking questions, how? Okay. And they was like, oh, just go to Medina and tell them to Koforidua.
That was it. That's what you did.
I had a time in Medina finding, but I did it because I needed to know. Went to Kumasi, just moved around a lot with the people. So then I just went on Facebook and was like, who wants to come to Ghana with me?
Wow.
And a lot of people was like, me. Because people saw me posting. They just saw like, yo, this dude is always in Africa. So from there, it started. I met a Kwesi. Like I said, when the stars aligned, my brother, he has a school program in DC that teaches West African drumming and dancing to programs at school. One of the principals said, I want to bring a group of middle schoolers. I brought a group. I started to work on a go-go band. So when it hit me, my sister, my older sister, Dwaywa, she called me, she works for the state of New Jersey. She said, bro, I was in a meeting and I heard something. And I said, I don't know what to do with this, but I know my brother will. So she heard about HR 1242.
Okay.
She heard it in the meeting, 400 years. So when she sent it to me, as soon as she sent it to me,
boom.
I said, that's it. Met with a Kwesi. We had a conversation. What was so interesting about him, for me, was he was very receptive. He was new to the position, and sometimes all it needs is a couple people with faith and belief, because there wasn't really a proof of concept.
Never been done.
Right? But I know he's a God-fearing man as well, and there were a few things that we talked about. One, we talked about HR 1242. We talked about 400 years in the Bible. At the same time, we saw what was happening in America with President Trump, and the fact that President Trump was the one who signed HR 1242 into law, right? So all of these things happened, and of course he had to go to work on his end, because there was already an existing diaspora movement here, but this one concept of commemorating 400 years of the arrival of the first documented enslaved Africans here to Ghana, and then it made sense for Ghana. Why? Ghana speaks English. Ghana was the first independent country in Africa.
Sub-Saharan.
Africa's hero, Sajifo Kwame Nkrumah, went to school to an HBCU. Right? He made sure that there were so many African American heroes and heroines in the civil rights movement that was a part of the Ghanaian. So there were so many things that made sense, and the relationship was there, that when it hit, and it's like once the horse got out the barn, it took a life of its own, and it pushed. And for me, I had decided that it was really a part of my personal mission to help as many people of African descent get to the African continent as possible. And that's when we created our Birthright Journeys. So Birthright Journeys were about helping people specifically of African descent connect with the continent, because there's so much magic here. And when you see people come and discover their magic, and everybody discovers their own magic, it's like, somebody will come and be like, oh, I'm leaving next week. And then it's like, I changed my ticket.
I mean, when somebody comes for their birthright journeys and you see the tears, like you see the connection, you see that they have found something, like something that was missing in their life, they have found it. How does that make you feel?
Well, it's emotional, right? But then you feel really happy for them. Because I really realized that the stronger Africa is, the more respect black people around the world will get. So I can see how Africa being shed in a positive light affects my great-great-great-granddaughter 200 years from now, right? Because there's a level of respect that she'll get when people see and understand Africa is a place of rich heritage, and it's not what was shown before bushes for, just barbarism, right? But this is actually the place that's the progenitor of civilization. So for me, it's just like, and I found my purpose. It was like, I realized everything I had done in my life up to this point was to prepare me to be doing this. I'm my happiest here. My family, when they see me, they know I'm happy here. They see that I love it. I love helping to make an impact, which is why I'm involved with Coco. And,
we'll
so it's like,
that.
So it's, I don't know, it feels really, really good.
What do you see that others are not seeing, Diallo? Like, I'm sure maybe you see other diasporans or even local Ghanaians, like, do you feel as if like they're not seeing what you're seeing? They're not seeing the Africa that you see?
One of my mentors told me that, he said, if everybody see what you see, then you ain't seeing nothing, right? And he told me visionaries always see above and beyond what people see. And I've translated that to us, people like us, because I know I'm not the only one, and there are groups of us who can see.
Yeah.
We're time travelers, right? We see things in the future so vividly in 4K in color. We dream of these things. We see them. We're so convinced that it's real and it will happen. No one can tell us any different, right? Even though you don't have step 1, 2, 3, ABC, you're like, I seen it. Like Wu-Tang say, I seen it like a 20-inch zenith, right? It's like we know it's just something. You know that this thing is going to happen. And for me, I grew up in a Pan-Africanist household. Okay. I went to independent African-centered schools my whole life. Wow. So Africa itself wasn't new for me.
Okay.
I've traveled here before. My first time here was in 1988.
Wow.
To the continent. Grew up drumming and dancing. My parents gave all of their children African names, that kind of thing.
Wow.
So for me specifically, I felt like it wasn't really new. Even though Ghana, even though Africa, all the countries are different, the cultures are different, the way they move are different. It was just always a thing for me, like, yo, this is where I'm supposed to be, right? And then some people, it's not, and that's okay, right? That's one of the things that I've learned being here and seeing so many people join the diaspora movement is helping people understand, listen, it's okay if it's not for you.
Yeah.
But what you need to do is recognize that and move out the way.
Yes, love that.
You know what I'm saying? It's okay. Like nobody's saying, like if you see a lot of people move here and then sometimes they got to go back, it's okay. But don't go back and say that this is a terrible place and nobody else should come. It just didn't work out for you. And be honest, take a look at how you came here. What research did you do, right? Were you paying attention? Were you really watching? You know what I'm saying? Did you give yourself an orientation? Did you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Did you do the things that you were supposed to do? And sometimes you do and things still don't work out. But when people travel to other places and it don't work out, they don't damn the whole place.
Yeah.
But our people, our trauma that we've carried with us because we still have this gap in our history that when it doesn't work out here, I'm never going back there again. And it's important for those of us who are here who have challenges to talk about the challenges, but also not to just be like, it's not that the place is damn, just look at the whole world right now, right? Look at the whole world right now. So it's not just us.
Do you think we're one as Black people? Are we one?
I do.
Okay.
I think we're one, but it's all mathematics, right? It's a whole bunch of ways to get to one. 10 minus 9 is 1. So we're different. And I think we need to be okay with being different and having different experiences as long as we realize that at the end of the equation, we end at one, right? So if you were raised in the UK as a Black person and your parents were Ghanaian immigrants to the UK and they chose to leave Ghana to go to the UK for whatever reason, and then you come back to Ghana, you've lived a different experience than an African American whose parents were from the US, Mississippi or New York or whatever, and then they've chosen to come back. And the difference is you have that gap. You have this 400 to 500, 600 year gap where it's like, I came from your oldest ancestors. That's where I came from. And then we are in a place and we come from a place where from the time that we've been born, we've been fighting. A lot of times physically fighting, spiritually fighting, socially fighting.
Yep.
You see that, and everybody in the world has. And I think sometimes we want us all to be the same and we shouldn't. It's okay for us to accept our differences, learn more about each other, and then again, figure out how to get back to one, right? But we are one. And to be honest, the world is one. Like really everybody's one. But it's that figuring out our differences and our similarities and how they work together for our benefit, for the benefit of humanity, where we get lost. You know what I'm saying?
You see that the Jewish are one. Like you see the Jewish helping each other, build each other, like giving each other contracts. Like you see that oneness, but you don't necessarily see that in the Black community as much.
Right.
So when you talk about the oneness we are, I don't see it.
We've been through a lot.
But the Jewish went through a lot too.
They did. But when you look at Jewish people in their history, where they are in the world. And when you look at us, even at the time, we were still under, right, around the whole world. And even though we don't see it, it's happening. Proof of it happening is you and I sitting here. And sometimes we don't really recognize the small things because, again, you're a time traveler, you're a visionary. So you and I, we can see a united Africa. We can see what that looks like in the power of the world. So we're just focused on doing our part, right? There's a proverb that says, everybody can't do everything, but if everybody does something, then everything will get done. So what we do with the Adinkra Group as an African cultural resource company in our birthright journeys in terms of helping people connect to the continent for tourism, for small business and investment, we feel is our part. That's us doing our part. And Ghana happens to be a place, honestly, which is what we call a soft place to land. Ghana is supposed to be the gateway to Africa.
Yeah.
It was the first independent African country. It's a hub. Literally, you can catch flights from here to everywhere else where you still can't get normal flights, regular flights to other African countries.
Yeah.
So it's good for people to experience and see Africa through the eyes of Ghana, right? And like everything else in business that you create, mold, and scale, you need a model. So I'm okay, and I'm sure Ghana's okay, and I'm sure you're okay with Ghana being that model for people to come bring their energy, bring their resources to say, if we can do it in Ghana, we can do it in Senegal, we can do it in Sierra Leone, we can do it in Guinea, we can do it in Mali, right? Other places may have to come later because they need to build up their infrastructure and development, but that's what we're here to do. That's what we're focused on.
And what made you not just come and bring the groups, you know, with the company, do the birthright journeys and then go back? What made you want to invest? Like you're doing cocoa. What made you do cocoa? Like, you know, I know you love chocolate, but
So interestingly enough, the community that I'm in, Yame Bechere, and there are several Yame Becheres in Ghana. So let me be clear. This is the Yame Bechere in the eastern region, near Kafordria, between Tinkon and Asor Betu. So anybody who's watching they know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So me spending time there, I committed to just working with the people in the town. But I said, it don't make sense to try to bring auto mechanics if they're not mechanics here. And everybody's farmers. So once I found out that everybody was farmers, well, what's the main thing that you farm? Cocoa, chocolate. I did some research and I was like, wow, Ghana is cocoa, cocoa is Ghana. I started looking at the percentage of cocoa in the GDP. So then I started going out to the cocoa farms with them. So I got knee deep. And during the pandemic, I spent a lot of times on the farms just learning. And I said, wait a minute. So then I started thinking about just different people in Ghana who've worked their way up. And I feel like you're not going to find too many people in Ghana who's at a certain level now who didn't have a cocoa farm.
It's true.
Who didn't start with a cocoa farm. So for me, it was a way to do really good business, regenerative business, that also had a really good impact in the community. And I'm able to maximize and use the labor, knowledge, and intelligence of everybody in that community already. So I can't train everybody there to be teachers, mathematicians, and scientists, but what we can do is say, well, we can make some investments, work, bring in some more technical capacity, and invest in cocoa. So
that's why
for me, it's, you know, I never knew that I'd be a farmer, right? But
nor did I.
Right. But you know, and it's trying to help the young people understand that, it can be sexy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It can be sexy, and take your time. Let's pace it out. You can build wealth for your family. You know what I'm saying? So most smallhold farmers in Ghana, they farm for sustenance, right? They're not looking at getting the maximum yield off of each cocoa tree. I'm coming in saying, you're only getting 40 pods per tree. We can get 250. That's like 500% more than what we're doing. Don't worry, I got it. Let's go.
Wow.
Right? Let's all work together, and then building a relationship so people know that you're not trying to come to take advantage of them. You leading with love, you know what I'm saying? And you're really about building community and development.
And I think they will love that. They will see that.
Yes.
Right? Ghanaians are not silly. They know when somebody's trying to come and rip them off and all of that. But they know that you are invested. The fact that you're even going to the farm and all of that, and you're with them. You're with them.
And I'm in the town.
You're in the town.
We're building. I mean, when I first started bringing these large groups of people, so, you know, in small towns, people never seen 80 people show up.
Wow.
Right? In small towns, 80 people getting off buses, showing up, bringing school supplies for the school. We're working on building our first library in Yamabetchade now.
Wow.
They actually selected me to be in Kosohini.
Wow, in
Which was a-
Kosohini. Hey,
Which is a
development. That's
Listen,
development. That's
yes. Chief of Development. I
Wow.
accepted. It was a big conversation though, because first I was like, no, nope. They was like, oh, you can't say no.
Yeah, you can't say no.
I was like, why can't you say no? And they was like, you can't say no. I'm like, y'all about to learn what an African American is and how we roll, how we get down. But we had a conversation because what I told them is I don't want the title to get in the way of the work. Right? I don't care about the title. You can keep it. I'm going to do this anyway.
Yeah.
But I get it for them. It's like, no. So I said, okay. So we had like a 3-hour meeting.
Wow.
Elders, spoke to the elders. I spoke to the young men. I spoke to the women. I spoke to everybody separately.
Wow.
Because people may not say things around other people. So and then I said, okay, I agree.
Wow.
So then I was like, okay. And I was like, this is not about just me dumping money.
Yeah.
This is about us working together. So it was small things we did initially, like having the young men in the community clean up. Okay, I'm gonna buy some trash bags. Everybody needs to go up and down the road and clean up. You know, just stuff like that, and helping some of the small businesses that are there with micro. Hey, Nana. Serious, so.
This is serious. What?
You come, look, they call me 901. When you come, you'll see. You come there, you ask for 901, you'll
Hey, 901.
901. This is, look, I said, why do y'all call me 901? They was like, because you are the only Nana in town. I was like, hey, are you sure? So that community, for me, is a source of power. It's a source of inspiration. So a lot of what we do with our business, with the Adinkra group, when we bring these birthright journeys, when people come, you know, we believe that we get to be all that we are at the same time, right? Let me tell you something. I like to pop bottles.
Yeah,
on rooftops.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Fine, nice.
Yes.
At the same time, I can go into a community and help out with the health fair and help build it up without feeling like I don't deserve this because they don't have it.
Yeah.
You know, I remember one time I had some bottles of Moet, so I'm in the community and I'm like, yo, I got some, and they like, what? I'm like, taste it. They taste it. I was like, yo, go bring 2 bottles of Repatriation. So it's like, so we all sitting there.
Yes.
They drinking bottles of Repatriation, and we drinking Hennessy and Moet, and it's okay.
It's okay.
Right? But we all here together, so we get to be all that we are.
Nice.
So when people come, we want people to be able to go to the village, have this experience, go to rural areas, see how people live. Because even you go and you see, and if you see poverty, but you also see so much joy.
Yeah.
And sometimes for people who have a lot or too much, you need to see people with what you consider nothing, but still overfilled with joy.
Yeah.
Now what that does for you is now it makes you look in the mirror to ask yourself, what am I missing? I thought I had everything, but I don't have this much joy, but I feel like I have way more than they have. So what's real and what's not?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So when people get to see that, especially black people, right? People who've been told and who felt their whole life that this is not the place you should be. Most people, they've been lying to us.
Yeah.
They've been lying to us. I thought Africa. So we want you to have that experience. We want you to go to the slave dungeons and walk through Asin Manso. We need to embrace that pain from our past, and then we need to turn that pain into profit, right? And then help each other and build each other up. So at the same time that you can have all of those experiences and see what's lacking from infrastructure, you can also enjoy what is here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I told people, oh, Ghana is the capital of enjoyment in the world. Y'all think y'all, listen, okay, let me tell you this real quick. Back in the day, 80s, 90s, used to come to Africa. When you come, you would think, let me not bring my good clothes. Because I don't, now, you better pack your best. or when you go out, you're going to be looking around like, I'm not ready, I'm not worthy.
Yeah.
You know, so now people come, you get the whole experience, the whole experience.
Yeah. I think when I met Jamie Foxx in LA, and one of the things, these stories was like, look, I went to South Africa And like he was like he felt that he was like underdressed. All of these guys coming like properly dressed. He was like, what? Is that how you guys dress it? Like, you know, he just couldn't believe that they were wearing what they were wearing and the cars that they were pulling up. Like, he was just like, wow.
I thought,
like,
listen, I'm telling people, you think you balling at home, come to Ghana in December. You don't even got to come to Ghana in December. Come in April. Come anytime at the right spot, and you'll see people enjoying themselves. And we need to see black wealth.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay. We need to see black people enjoying their life. You know, one of the reasons why we say birthright journey and the concept of birthright is that we believe our birthright is not to suffer. We were not born to suffer. God did not bring us here to suffer. We were brought here to live in abundance.
Yeah.
We were brought here to define prosperity. And we were brought here to lift each other up and to help each other. So it's our birthright that, especially for those of us who were taken away years ago, I always say I'm a child of all of Africa. That everything that Africa is and has to offer belongs to me just because I said so, for no other reason. And I can come get it, right? Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, so.
Why not? Why not? Diallo has brought the likes of NAACP, 250 of them that came down.
That was crazy.
It was crazy.
That was crazy.
But it was so impactful because that's when I met Danny Glover, like Derek, Eris, and we built such a, like, we're still friends now.
Yes, yes.
And
I saw you went to
NAACP Awards.
The Awards.
This year they invited me, but I couldn't make it. But yeah, Dell was there, Chocolate was there, and you know, we're sitting right here in chocolates.
And you wearing
and I'm wearing chocolate as well. Mr. Bediako, big up yourself.
Yes, sir.
But these are the type of people that you're also bringing.
Yes.
And the Jamestown to Jamestown.
Yes.
That was a huge thing that, you know, happened again. That was again through you and, you know, the GTA and the team. When you're bringing some of these large organizations, what is the type of feedback they give you?
Well, It's always interesting because sometimes you're moving through it so fast that you have to like force yourself to stop and be like I was just talking to some people like my assistant here was telling me, he's like, it's probably about time you go home for some time. You've been here. I said, how long have I been? He said, you've been about 4 years. I said, 4 years. Like,
Oh, wow.
I just haven't been tracking time. Like,
Wow.
you know, I still go back and forth when I need to. My children are there. My wife is there, but she comes back. This is her first time being here for 6 months.
Oh, really?
You know, so she's been here.
Oh, wow.
She's doing her thing. She got her crew. You know what I'm
Nice.
saying? Her Accra Eats group. Shout out to the Accra Eats group. You know what I'm saying? So she's here. Her mom is here. My mom comes.
Oh, wow.
My brother comes back and forth. So my family comes and goes. But you know, it's when we have these large groups, it's interesting because you're managing so many personalities.
Yeah.
But a part of what we do that's important for us is we try not to put people into the experience they should have, as opposed to allow them to have their experience while they're here. Our job is to provide safety.
Yeah.
Our job is to provide, you know, the boundaries, the logistics, and to make sure that you're safe and that you're around the right people, and that we curate the experience, but some people may come out of the experience with different feelings.
Sure.
And sometimes you got to come off of automatic, because when you're doing this constantly and you got people coming in, you know, all of the time, you're on automatic. But for me, it's always really good to just sit down and talk with different groups of people from all backgrounds, right? Because you got people from Middle America, people who from the U.S. and big cities, people who grew up down south, people who've been to other African countries, but it's their first time in Ghana, people who've never been. And the beautiful thing for me is that there are so many people now that took Africa off their bucket list and moved it to their next year list. Because there's a big difference when you say,
it's true.
Well, if I can get to Africa one day before I die, I'll be cool. Versus, I'm going to Ghana next year.
Wow.
You know, so we've shortened the distance for a lot of people.
That's
all of
amazing.
us. Yeah.
Tell us about, you're an author now too. Okay, Mr. Author. Tell us about the book that you wrote was it last year?
Last year.
Yeah.
So, A Smart Ghana Repatriation Guide. During the pandemic, after the year of return.
Yeah. And how was the year, actually, before we talk about, how was the year of return for you?
It was busy.
Okay.
It was a breeze. I mean, it was a blur.
Okay, it was a blur.
It was busy because you saw how the run we made, right?
Yeah.
So from the time we launched it in Ghana in July of 2018 to launching it in the U.S. At the National Press Club in September of 2018, it was a madhouse, you know. So, and then I want to just shout out, there are so many people who worked on the year of return behind the scenes, you know, the media people, the assistants. Shout out to my renegade, my year of return renegades crew. They know who they are.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? There's a core group of people who are not directors who you won't see on TV, who are behind the scenes making it happen, make sure stuff gets set up, make sure the licenses are done. So I just think it's important that there are people like myself and you who are kind of on a world stage that people see us, but there are people who are getting the work done.
Yeah.
So for me, it was just busy. Like, I don't know what else to say other than busy, because it was like 2-3 groups here at a time, big group coming, small group coming, sleep for 3 days. Let me go to Republic and just have one night. Let me have a good night for myself. Somebody coming in tomorrow. It was busy all year. But one of the things that I saw as I moved around was there wasn't a guide. There were guides, right? Ivy Prosper, who you know, she had wrote a book, and other people. But I felt like we needed some more.
Yeah.
So A Smart Ghana Repatriation Guide is a book that has 20 chapters for people who want to repatriate. I think what makes this book special is that we incorporated technology. So we have dynamic QR codes laced throughout the book. So when you're reading the chapter on land, there are several places where you can scan the QR code and go to see something about the Lands Commission. You can go see about the Ghana Real Estate Association. So instead of trying to write an encyclopedia of chapters, we can expand the book by adding these QR codes. And I just, and it was interesting because at first I didn't feel like I had done enough to deserve to be an author. You know, we all go through these things like, and then again.
But you get questions all the time though, because people are coming to you like, how did you do this? How did you get your land? So it's best for you to put it in a book because you can't answer 200, 300 people.
And interestingly enough, again, you'll always hear me talk about ancestors. I was trying to write another book.
Okay.
And they were like, no, that's not the book you write first.
Wow.
So then I had to get the book out. And it was interesting the way it just started coming to me, like the way to say it and how to write it and what to talk about, having conversations. So we published a book. The book came out last year. It was released on May 19th, which is a special day because that's our ancestor Malcolm X's birthday. So we released it on May 19th. A part of the book is dedicated to him. The book is also dedicated to my granddaughter, AC. And it's been received well. It's now on Amazon.
AC as in Ghanaian name AC?
AC.
Okay. AC.
And she's a true AC.
Is she? Oh, wow.
Running things. So it's on Amazon. Okay. A Smart Ghana Repatriation Guide. You can get it.
Go and get that.
And you know, I've been getting a lot of good feedback. You know, and I'm always looking. You know, people like us. We want critical feedback. We want to know how to make it better.
Absolutely.
How do we, you know, how do we perfect this thing? Yeah. So it was good. I'm working on the second edition, the second volume, to figure out how. I need you to make me a promise on camera, Denton. I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Yeah.
You need to be in the second edition.
I'm gonna be in the second edition.
Done deal?
Okay, done deal.
Okay, there we go. Because so one of the other things that made it special is I had other authors. So I invited other people.
Because Ivy's in that one,
Ivy's in their own media. I wanted people to clearly hear different voices.
Yeah.
My voice is distinct. You're going to hear me, the way I talk, the way I move, everything. But I wanted people to also hear and feel other people's experiences so they can see it's not just me.
Yeah.
And for me, it was a way to put people on that I know. So for all of the other authors, you can scan a QR code and it takes you to their business.
Wow.
So I'm like, yo, dude, like, I'm, you know, God is always going to take care of me. You know what I'm saying? So let's spread love.
Absolutely. I love that. Now, he's also a TV presenter now. So he's doing interviews.
Yes.
And it's on Ghana Web.
Yes.
So tell us about that as well.
So a good friend of mine at Ghana Web who I connected with some years ago, we stayed in touch. And we had some conversations about this diaspora show. We wanted to see what it was. So finally, he hit me up this year. We spoke. And then I met a young lady named Tanisha Tego, who I enlisted as a co-producer. So when I met her and we was talking, and then I was just like, I don't really have the time and capacity to do this. So I was lucky enough to meet somebody who not only had the capacity, but the wherewithal.
Yeah,
and knows
she's
the market.
amazing.
Yeah.
I know Tanisha. I know her before you did.
Exactly.
I just want to put out there.
So we met with Ghana Web.
Yeah.
And
that's a great platform. Like, that website is getting hits.
Yes.
Oh, so
well, it made sense because I was like, oh, this is like the second largest platform in Ghana.
Yeah.
And then, but at the same time, we wanted to make sure we had some ownership. We didn't want to do.
Yeah.
But they were very open to the partnership.
Awesome.
So it's not like we had to force this, that, and the third. So we're in our first season.
Yes.
20 episodes, and it's me sitting down having a conversation with people like this about their journey.
Yep.
You know, where they're from in the U.S. Get into, you know, what they're doing here, some of their challenges. So it's been, you partially encouraged me to do that by watching your show and seeing what you do and seeing. And I'm like, I think I can make a contribution too.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It premieres on Sundays, every Sunday at 5 p.m. GMT on GhanaWeb.com, Diaspora link. And I've been getting good feedback about that. And, you know, I like to be a clown. Like, I'm a fool. I'm a cold-hearted fool. So it gives me a chance to cut up, right? I get to cut up. I get to cut up with my guests and we get to have fun, but really just kind of dig into, because there's so many different stories.
There's
I'm sure
so
you see
many
that.
different stories. Like, you may think that, you know, you're going to be saying the same things, but everybody's journey is different.
Totally different. And then when it's people you know, you think you know them, find out something else about them in the interview, like, yo, I didn't know that. So, So.
Diallo, if you were the president of Ghana, what one thing would you change?
Okay, I'm going to try to give you one, but I may have to give you two.
Okay, that's fine too. Because you're the president. You can allow, you can have two.
Security, no, let me stop. I think what I would do is I would make sure that I continue the legacy in terms of being the first independent African country. I would also be the first president to make sure that I created a very clear pathway for citizenship for people of the African diaspora, because specifically for our president, His Excellency Nana Addo, as he spoke about Ghana Beyond Aid, I think he knows this, and I'm sure he's working on this, but a stronger and a more connected relationship with the diaspora by giving citizenship will take you beyond aid. You will not need aid anymore, any former colonizers, with the diaspora. With citizenship, you'll see things change a lot. So if I was him, I think tomorrow, first person I would give citizenship if I was him would be me. Can I say that? Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. And to be honest, I don't know why you don't have your citizenship, because that's why I said in the beginning, like, he's a Ghanaian, because you are so invested, and we are, as a Ghanaian, I'm so proud to know you, because you're doing so much for us. Like, and that's what I'm saying. It's not about take. It's about you're giving back in so many different ways. And we appreciate that. And I think that you deserve to have a citizenship. You know, if I was the foreign minister of Ghana, I would make sure that you have your citizenship. But I hope that it's coming up. And because, like I said, you know, you've been part of the whole journey.
Right.
And so hopefully soon I'll be coming to your celebration party where we're like, hey, I got the green book.
Hey, look, and you know we gonna party.
Here we go.
We know we gonna party. You know we gonna party.
So what's next for Diallo? What's in the pipeline? What's boiling? Because I know that there's always something cooking, and I know something's cooking in August because some people have told me that something is coming in August.
Something is coming. Yeah. Well, that's not.
That's just by the way.
Yeah. That's something that's happening. That I'm very happy it's happening.
Yeah.
And I hope that we can make that annual and extend it.
Absolutely.
You know, for me, well, again, we spoke about the cocoa, so I'm very looking forward to finishing our first crop at the end of this year.
Are you documenting everything?
Yes, we're documenting a lot. I'm excited because I'm just learning so much.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about the fact that we use cover crops, plantain.
Yeah.
So outside of having the amount of acres that we have in cocoa, we also have it in plantain.
Wow.
I talked about the guest house, which is really important for me because phase 1 is 12 rooms.
Wow.
But when we finish phase 2 and 3, it'll be 45.
Wow. And that was that because the guest house came because of the people that were coming and places or what?
Again, community development.
Okay.
So I mentioned that in Yambetche, I'm in Coastal Henny. So most people would not do what I did. They would probably want to put this level of investment, because this is 3 stories, 12 rooms. You know this is not cheap.
Yeah.
They would probably want to put it in the area that's already high traffic in this. But again, you know, I've been learning to think 9 generations ahead.
Wow.
So we want to make sure that what we build serves as an economic center for the community. So by building 12, then adding more and having a 45 room, which is really like a resort, right in front of the cocoa, right in front of our cocoa farm. So from the top level, like when I'm at my spot and I'm looking out, I'm looking at cocoa.
Wow.
So we want people to be able to come. We want people to be able to come see the cocoa farm. We want people to be able to come and take a neem steam bath, right? We want people to come and be able to, I'm Ghanaian though. My Ghanaian friends are like, oh, you are more Ghanaian than me.
I'm telling you.
So but I think next is, again, expanding beyond Ghana into other African countries, which we're currently doing.
Yeah, you're doing
with
that.
African ancestry. You know, I work with African ancestry and the DNA testing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm looking forward to really just finishing out this year and just doing what I'm continuing. I'm excited about Diaspora Link.
Yeah.
That's a really dope platform.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's any one thing. You know, I have something. I'm trying to figure out what I could tell you, what I could say here on camera, because we have some things coming up. The Adinkra group is growing. Yeah. You know, the Adinkra group is growing. People can check the website, www.theadinkragroup.com. We have the 2nd edition of the book coming. We're building, we're growing, we're bringing more people, we're bringing more groups, as you know.
Yeah, they're so excited. Like Eris was like,
I'll tell you know what. I'll tell you one thing that I'm really excited about. I'm a part of an initiative called HAKE, and forgive me because I can't tell you what it stands for, but it's about connecting HBCUs and universities in Africa. So this initiative, 100,000 strong, about bringing 100,000 HBCU students over to Ghana and other African countries to connect with students to help close the gap in the disparity when it comes to overseas learning. And so that's something that I'm excited about because it's legacy in this future, and it's for the youngins. You know, it's for the young college students who got all that energy. We ain't got that much energy. I'm trying to go to bed by 11.
Yeah, right. Popping that bottle at 11, mate. But three advice that you would give to a diasporan, an African American who is listening to our show and is like, I think I want to go. I think I want to make that journey. What would your advice be to them?
The first thing I would say is touch down. You know, some of my close friends who haven't been yet, I stopped. They can't talk to me no more until they buy a ticket. They can't talk to me about Africa. We can talk about other stuff, but Africa, no, I'm hanging up. I told you, don't talk to me till you buy a ticket because you need to come.
You need to come and see it.
That's the first thing. It's come. Make a decision to come. I don't care if you got to save for 2 years because we save for things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's true.
We start saving for Christmas next year, right after Christmas this year. We save for things if you need to do that. The second thing that I would say is I'm going to tell you don't come with any expectations.
Okay.
You know, come as an empty vessel and fill yourself up.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? You got to moderate that though. You decide what you let in and what you keep and what you let go, but come as an empty vessel. And then the last thing that I would say is be prepared to learn who you really are. You know, be prepared to learn who you really are because sometimes you can be tested. You know, you think that you can handle certain things, but then sometimes you learn a lot about somebody when the AC goes out and it's hot. Right?
Yeah.
You thought this was such a cool car. They like, ah! It's like it's just air conditioning. But you learn about yourself, right? You know, I always say that, and some people disagree. But I say, you know, from watching in the village, I say, I wish I could bring kids from the U.S. here and just for 3 weeks, make them fetch water every morning and every evening to understand how blessed that they are. Because I see kids do it at 7 years old, 5, the whole family, in the morning and in the evening. And sometimes you walk in a mile. That's not a game. Those would be the three things. Be prepared to learn who you really are.
Be prepared to learn who you really are. When that AC goes off, you will learn who you truly are, whether you can stand it or not. But I hope that you've enjoyed the show. I know that Diallo has inspired you. Please make sure that you visit his website and learn about everything that he's doing. Go on the Ghana web, watch his show. It's conversations like this. Trust me, you want to be listening to all of these conversations because they will inspire you. Maybe your journey is not that crazy, you know? Maybe your journey is going to be easy because you've got all of that already by listening to other people's journeys. So I hope you've enjoyed the show. God bless and see you soon.